lively discussion about different forms of government.
With a little dance number.
With a little dance number almost. And communism, of course, is a system where the state owns everything. Over here we have a system where AOL owns everything. Now, we laugh about that, and yet this is, to some people, frightening. I don't even know if I'm one of the people who is frightened by this, but it is...
I'm not particularly, because to me, like a $50 million media conglomerate doesn't have its pulse on its finger on the pulse of the common man or common woman any more than a $159 billion media conglomerate. But I think what this is an example of is the increasingly totalitarian nature of the global market economy, that more and more power and more information gets monopolized into a smaller and smaller parcels. And I think also...
All I want to know is my porno bill going to go up? That's all I care about.
Well, yeah. They say no. They say that the head of the company today said, you know, we're going to...
What, that his porno bill is going to stay the same?
It's no, damn well better. That's what made America great. Cheap porn. We live in a day and age where you could masturbate. You can masturbate online with a credit card. That's what makes America great.
And now apparently you can do it through one machine. Whereas before you had...
How many did you use?
You had the TV and you had the computer. Apparently now we're integrating all these things into one unit. I don't know if this is something I should be scared about.
Yeah, but Bill, we all know. I mean, you're sort of a Luddite when it comes to this kind of thing. You don't have a computer. You have like.
What do you mean I don't have a computer?
What do you have? A little word processor from 1952. You shovel coal in there. You got a monk with a quill out there.
He's got an apple. He's got an apple too. Actually, you know, the thing is,
you're not a fan of computers, are you? You're not a fan of the internet. You're not a.
I am not on the internet. That is.
I can't even get my computer to work. I mean, I have it. I have two actually, and. You know,
what do you all need computers for anyway? What do you all need computers for anyway?
How many times I got to explain this to you?
The internet thing, it drives me nuts because I can't talk to anyone. If I'm typing, I'm looking for the E for half an hour. You know.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, though, this would be a lot more troubling, but for the fact that the very forces that are causing it are also causing a decentralization of information. You know, sure, we've got all these
How could that be?
Well, what I'm talking about is
Hold on, I'm with him on that.
Let me finish up. You've got all these huge corporations that are coming together, Disney and ABC, and then you've got another group here and now another clump here. It's 159 billion or whatever it is. I can't even imagine it. But because information's being decentralized, because you can get information over the internet, because 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're going to be having technology that's going to allow people to have newscasts from their living room that they can scan all over the world.
I'm actually
let's have a big group hug here.
Yeah.
It's going to cause a decentralization.
And then we'll go to Cuba.
And I think what you're finding with AOL, what you're finding with all these other corporations and networks, you're finding people that are very fearful of the age we're moving into, and it's just like they're trying to grab and they're trying to get everything, but the more they put their hands on it, it's like mercury.
See, here's the issue. The real issue is free access.
Right.
The real issue is if Time Warner and AOL merge, will other competitors be allowed access over their broadband lines, which is what happened with the phone companies many years ago. Now any long-distance phone service can go over any lines, and all of a sudden there's competition in a million different companies.
Right.
Same thing happens with the internet. As long as there's free access to other competition over the actual hardware, you're fine.
But how can the smaller company that doesn't really make anything buy this huge company that is worth so much more?
Well, because it's the future, because everyone knows it's the future.
No, everybody knows it's the future. That's what they said in the 20s when the stock market crashed.
But AOL is no longer an
uncertain. 1927, that we live in a period of prosperity that will never end, and then a couple of years later, the world economy went into the tank. There's no such thing as that being the future. This is the future that certain corporate capitalists are attempting to construct for everybody because they stand to make a lot of money and accumulate a lot of power because everybody else will be left out in the cold.
But that's what Time Warner's in anyway. They're in that same business. But why are they the lesser company?
Because they're in the 20th century, and AOL and these other internet companies are in the 21st century.
I remember the 20th.
There's a long time ago. That's right.
Yeah.
AOL is a very powerful company. AOL is not some little upstart. AOL is a huge financial power, and you know, I mean,
not close to what Time Warner is.
Well, you know, it depends on how you look at it, really. And that's
the way they look at it is that it has market capitalization twice as much. That means the stock market. That means people think it's bigger.
And you want to know the weird thing about it?
It's not really bigger.
The weird thing about it is that AOL service is so bad that if you wanted to buy Time Warner stock online through AOL, you couldn't even get to it.
That's right. All right. I got to take another break. We'll be back. All right, we're a little short on time, but that's okay. This is about a short person. I guess you heard this. A guy in Connecticut is facing 10 years in jail because somebody, a health worker in a restaurant, saw that this guy's 2-year-old kid was smoking a cigarette. I don't really know if this kid was smoking, 2 years old, but they swear to God the kid had a cigarette and was smoking, and now they're going to put the guy in jail for risk of injury of a minor. And I just want to say, everything that's a shame is not a crime, and that I see parents do things that I think are even worse with kids, and they don't go to jail.
Like put a big knack in their hand.
Personally, I think this is a form of child abuse. I mean, to have a child smoking at 2 years old is absolutely absurd. Personally, I think smoking in front of a 2-year-old child is already bad enough, giving him second-hand smoke, but actually allowing him to light up a cigarette.
But are we going to start judging what all parents do? Because every parent probably has something you could find fault with.
I think 10 years is a little much, but I think absolutely there has to be some. There has to be. No, I think.
Out of concern for the child's welfare, let's take his father away for 10 years and put him in prison. Because that's better for the child.
I think that I think is absurd. But I do think that the father has to reprimand him. Presumably there's a mother there somewhere.
Well, you know, the kid has a great excuse. He said he was smoking, but he didn't inhale.
Yeah.
That's right.
But
you learn from the best, right?
I'd love to see this kid with a cigar. I'd love to see what he does with that after.
But, I mean, I think if you teach a kid to hunt, to me that's much worse than teaching a kid to smoke.
Yeah, how about all the Aryan nation parents who indoctrinate their children with that sort of hate and violence?
We'll
put them in jail for corrupting minors.
Wait a minute, let's get back. This tobacco thing, this is a drug. He's turning this kid into an addict, you know, too. I mean, it's the most addictive substance.
Has the guy been put on trial yet? You're referring to him as if he's already been convicted.
No.
From what I've heard, nothing of the sort has taken place.
Not yet, but
so he's accused.
He's accused.
He's accused.
What about
he's innocent until he's proven guilty, okay?
What about parents
Absolutely.
Only in America.
You ever see a kid,
not
a
only
5 or 6-year-old,
Wrong again, pal.
who's really big and fat?
Yeah,
what about parents who let their kids get to be hugely obese at 6 years old? That's a drug.
Absolutely, and then that's the biggest drug in America. The biggest problem, the reason why people are so obese is it's untreated depression. And potato chips basically have serotonin in it.
I thought it was untreated, like dining at, like, you know, McDonald's and Pizza Hut and all these, like, sort of corporate death food places.
Quit picking on McDonald's, okay?
I also think
McDonald's, you know McDonald's? I worked at a restaurant, and a guy that I knew had a former management trainee at McDonald's, and he said that McDonald's is the world's largest purchaser of cattle eyeballs. And they're not buying them for purposes of scientific research either.
They're the milkshakes. What's wrong with that?
They're actually promotional giveaways.
Yeah, Bon appetit.
Right after Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Okay, I got to take a break. Okay, Paul points out it's not a free country when busybodies legislate everything. Good point. Murder in the Mirror, January 19th. Tomorrow, Chuck Woolery, Elisa Donovan, Guy Torrey, and Betsy Hart. I got that all in.